That's right, you are listening to Solihull Radio. Welcome and thank you very much for either listening live or downloading this featured content podcast. Great news, everybody. It is hashtag Charity Tuesday. Joining me in the studio is, of course, my co-host, Louise John. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Jeff. And you?
Nice to see you. Yes, I am happy. It's a beautiful sunny day.
And we're in the brand new studio.
So we're now at 148 in central Solihull. So if you do ever want to come in and record a podcast, it's at 148. Have a look on your Instagrams because I'm starting a new Instagram feed for that. But of course, it is Charity Tuesday, which means we talk about all the charity champions in our local area. And we are joined today by two fantastic charity champions. One is a lady called Collette Young from the Waitrose community. Well, she's the community champion. She works with all of the members and the partners at Waitrose in developing the community partnerships. And we've also got Richard Gwatkin, who is from the Global Cooling Partnership or Company. Charity, of course. It is the charity. And he is going to be talking about what they do there. So good afternoon and good evening if you're listening live to this. To both of you, are you both well?
Very well, thank you.
Yep, very well indeed, thank you.
Excellent stuff. So, Louise, can we start with you on Charity Tuesday? Because we just really want to have a conversation about how good things are happening, or what sort of good things are happening charity-wise from you. Because you're from the Get Ahead charity.
I am from the Get Ahead charity, yes. And as our dream for Charity Tuesday, it's starting to become a reality now, isn't it, Jeff? We're getting some really lovely charities coming in and talking about what they do. So obviously there's always stuff going on with Get Ahead, so I'll just get a quick few mentions in there and then we'll move on.
Go on.
So Thursfield Solicitors, who have taken us on as their charity of the year, so thank you to Thursfield. They are doing a six-a-side, tongue twister that is, isn't it? Six-a-side football at Tudor Grange Leisure Centre on Thursday, the 27th of June. I believe there's about 3 or 4 team spaces available for local businesses, but it's a great way to get out there, mixed teams as well, which is nice. Get on the pitch, have a bit of a play, and then go back to Thursfield for some nibbles and some networking. So just a nice way to get everyone in the local area chatting and supporting Get Ahead. So that's going on. And then also, I should let you talk about the launch, should I?
Well, I'll talk about the launch. Also, there is a very special day happening on the 20th of June. We are celebrating the launch of 148, which is our brand new studio here in Central Solihull, and we're having lots of VIP and business guests come along, and our friends that have helped us launch the station as well for a nice opening ceremony. And some food, drinks, and a little bit of a party, a little bit of live entertainment here. And we can also broadcast this via Solihull Radio as well. So we're going to be starting, I think the mayor is coming to open it.
That is fantastic.
So
Absolutely
the brand new mayor,
brilliant.
Stuart Davis, was sworn in a week or so ago. And he's going to be coming along on the 20th of June from about 4 o'clock. So from 4, the mayor will be there, and then party from 5. And we'll just have some fun launching the new Solihull Radio studio.
That sounds wonderful. And you mentioned Collette earlier. And so I first met Collette because the Community Matters scheme actually supported Get Ahead. I'll obviously let Collette talk about what the Community Matters scheme does. But to support small charities like ourselves is a huge support, raises awareness, raises some much needed funds. And it's just a great way of, talking about charities and working together. So Collette, would you like to talk about
Welcome,
what
Collette.
you do?
Yes. Well, it's part of Waitrose and Partners giving back, really, to the community. It's the Community Matters Green Tokens scheme, and it's been going for 10 years. I think it's the original sort of community scheme, and then others have followed suit. And last year, we celebrated 10 years of Community Matters, so we had big celebrations there. We had a lovely day in June, and we were given a budget to sort of celebrate Community Matters. So we invited all of the charities, or a lot of the charities that we'd helped throughout the year, into branch, and sort of had a bit of a celebration. And I didn't think a lot would turn up. You think you invite quite a few, but sort of maybe 1 or 2 might turn up, but it was really lovely that quite a few did turn up. And Gavin Millman, our branch manager, helped sort of and supported me, and he got to meet all the people that we'd helped, so it was just really nice to do. We also do volunteering. There's a big push for that this week. We've got this month. We've got a budget, and we're going to send a group of partners somewhere. We haven't decided where yet, locally, to help a charity. And obviously Waitrose and partners will pay for that, but we'll be volunteering our time. So that's exciting as well. That's
Collette, how do people apply to be considered for that sort of thing?
Okay, they can do it in branch. They can come. There's a box where there are application forms, so they can fill that out. We always look at them all. There's the team. There's myself. There's Carl and a manager Al, who have a look at them, and then we decide, what charities to choose. We tried to help sort of local charities, small charities.
So if a school was doing a project or a local charity was moving and needed some help with painting or something.
Exactly. And if it's not-for-profit organisation, they can also help. So we've helped some local football teams. You mentioned
fabulous. Yeah.
So it's quite flexible, helpful scheme. We can't promise to help everyone, but we do try and help. But I think by and large, Waitrose and partners do give back a lot to the community, but it's just raising awareness and letting people know that we're out there.
And is this a monthly scheme? So they're logged in there for a month. And
three charities.
Three charities, and you collect your token for every transaction or every pound or...
Every transaction, yes.
And you choose which one to put it in. But then, at the end of that month, they're all sort of totted up. And how does it work after that?
Yeah, so at the end of the month, all the tokens are weighed, and then we work out how much money each charity has got. But the nice thing is everybody will get a share of that £1,000.
So that's brilliant, isn't it?
It is, really.
So if you're a chosen charity, you know that month you're going to get some income via the Community Matters scheme, isn't it?
Absolutely. Get Ahead were able to purchase an iPad mini to help people communicate. So it just goes to show that it just literally transfers from people shopping to helping people to be able to communicate with their family or other things like this. But it's brilliant.
Yeah. And that's just a small thing, but it's probably made a huge difference to somebody's life.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's what it's all about. Just
great stuff.
Back, really.
Okay, and the application forms and things like that, or we could come in and see.
Welcome desk as well.
Come in and see you at the desk.
Come and ask me or Carl. Yes.
Yeah. So if you're in the local Waitrose, which is just on Homer Road, there, you can pop in and see Collette or Carl, another member of her team, and you can ask about becoming one of the possible people in the box.
And also this year we've got something called Community Matters Plus, which is a local project. And we're looking for, if there's regionally in the West Midlands, we've got £10,000 that we can apply for to help a charity. So if there is a good cause that needs some help with maybe decorating or, I don't know, some extra money, we could apply for that grant to get a share of that £10,000.
Right.
So if anybody wants to sort of nominate, we can't promise anything, but we can look into it, a good cause.
Okay. And is that going to be spread out across all of the West Midlands stores? So
I think that's a national thing, but it will be spread out, the £10,000 in the Midlands region.
Okay. So that's worth it, isn't it? The Community Matters Plus.
Yes.
Any more information about that, or is that just a case of coming in to see you as well, or is there a website or anything? Yeah,
just come in and see us with some details about what you needed the funding for, and then we would have to decide as a team whether that's something we could apply for a share of that £10,000. So that's very exciting this year as well.
So it's a community group, a not-for-profit organisation, or a registered charity. So they're locally, they're your remit. So if you're a member of any of those, why don't you go and see what Collette and her team are doing over at Waitrose?
Wonderful.
Brilliant. Is that all right?
Yeah. No,
any other projects or anything that's coming out? Have you got a short list for your volunteer thing yet? Have you got some possible places where they might be able to go?
We've got a couple of places. I
You can't say
because we haven't heard back from them, but we're open for people to get in touch with us.
Brilliant.
Like I say, we'll look at all of them. We can't promise to do all of them, but if it's a worthy cause and we think it's applicable.
Is it a team of your partners? Will it be a 10 or 15, or is it 5 or 10? Or?
It'll be at least, I would say, maybe 5, rather than just 1 or 2 going. We're looking to do something
bigger.
Yeah, bigger this year.
And more impact for the community.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Jeff, I was just, before we started recording, I was chatting to Richard and Collette about the fact that Colette's mentioned a few times we can't help everybody, but that's the glory and that's the beauty of everybody doing a little bit. We can all help somebody, and there's so many charities and deserving groups that need a little bit of support. So I think it's wonderful that, don't be afraid to say you can't help everybody. That's not a problem. Nobody can help everybody, but if we all help somebody, I think that's the way forward. Definitely.
You sometimes wish you could help everybody.
Absolutely, but you do.
Like everything, there's a budget, isn't there?
Absolutely. But you choose one this time, and then as time goes on,
that's right.
There's opportunity for all people to apply. That's brilliant.
Yeah, just keep applying, really, and your time will come. Hopefully,
yes. That's great stuff. How's it going over there in Waitrose?
Brilliantly.
Is it really? It's
people love us.
Yeah, people do.
I mean, where else could you go? You go and you get a chance to vote for a charity. If you've got a Waitrose card, you get a free coffee. If you make a purchase, spend over £10, you get a free newspaper as well. So
looking after their customers,
looking
after the community, looking after charities. Waitrose are winning.
And it's the
great customer service.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the experience, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The experience at Waitrose.
I think that's what people are looking for these days as well. Experience shopping.
That's great stuff. All right, well, thank you very much
Thank you.
for being part of Charity Tuesday, and we'll be right back after this.
solihullradio.com.
That's right, we are still here at Charity Tuesday, and thank you very much for joining us or downloading this featured content podcast. We appreciate you downloading our content and listening in to what's happening in your local community. Like I said, we've got some #charity champions with us today. We've just heard from Collette from Waitrose Community Matters. And we're about to talk now, and I'd like to introduce you to Richard Gwatkin from Global Cooling Charity. Now, Richard, you're going to have to tell me what Global Cooling is all about.
So global cooling is, firstly, it's a play on words, so opposite of global warming.
Yep.
That's
very clever.
One.
Yep.
But also, we're a tree charity, so we are focused solely on planting and protecting trees. And we think trees are pretty cool as well, so hence why the word cool is in there. So as I say, we're a charity that's focused primarily on planting and protecting trees.
Brilliant. How long have you been going? Where have you started up? And how did you come up with the idea? Because presumably you're the founder and director of this, are you? Or is there a team of trustees?
Yeah, so there is a team of trustees. I think.
Are you the inspiration?
One of. So I don't think I can lay claim to it 100%. But yeah, I mean, certainly, once you start to look into the reasons why we exist as a charity, it soon becomes clear. And that's why myself and the other people are involved with global cooling. Tree loss is a massive issue globally. Planting trees is vitally important to the future of all life on the planet, not just humans, but also the animals as well. And the rate of decline at the moment is so significant. Serious action needs to be taken. You don't need to look too far in the media these days to see, certainly key people like David Attenborough really pressing home how crucial trees and the environment are. So I think, from our perspective, it's about taking that and trying to take direct positive action. That's what we're all about. So rather than, lobbying and working to stop tree loss, we're just doing something proactive to actually plant and protect the trees.
You are right, actually. So David Attenborough has been much more vocal recently, hasn't he, on the development of this global warming and the things, and it's a lot more prevalent in the media.
It is, and it's a broader issue than just the environment. So it's a natural go-to to think of when you think of trees, you think of the environment, but actually for us it's a broader issue, and it's largely a humanitarian issue. So again, we talk about the impact to human life and the cost of that as well. So obviously the focus is primarily on the environment, but actually when you start to realise that poor air quality kills over 4 million people a year, it's the second biggest cause of lung cancer, things like dementia, stroke that you wouldn't even associate with tree loss and poor air quality. So when you start to put these things together, you realise how important they are to the future of obviously the humanity. And that's why we exist, is try and combat this.
Are you a sole sort of vanguard of this, or are there other charities that are running around in your due diligence that when you did this, did you say, right, they're doing trees here, they're doing farm areas or things like that? Or did you come up with just the thing of, right, we need extra trees, we need to bring this back to the environment? How did you develop it as a project?
Yeah, so obviously we did our market research, so we know that there are other tree charities out there.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that you have to kind of appreciate is we can't plant enough trees. There could be, thousands of tree charities out there, and we still wouldn't plant enough trees. So the net loss is around 10 billion trees a year. So that's a really significant number that we are obviously trying to stem the flow of that. However, we are slightly different to some of the other tree charities out there. We try and put a positive association. So a lot of our kind of social media activity is trying to focus on seeing the value in trees rather than the disbenefit of tree loss, if that makes sense.
So you've switched it around, haven't you?
Yeah. So we do a social media a campaign that's called Monday Punday, and that goes out across all of our social media channels every Monday, and that is just purely just to try and get some engaging content out there and make people realise I think this week's Monday Punday was around we will walnut stand for this. So it's a play on words. And it's a picture of trees chopped down.
Do you need someone in that position? Because that would be my ideal job.
We're creating puns.
Yeah. We're really lucky, actually. We've got a volunteer creative group, so our marketing team is made up of all volunteers.
Brilliant.
Coming from different organisations from their marketing department. So we've got marketing specialists who come up with these crazy ideas for us, and it's some of them are really good. We've had some good ones. So if you go onto our Facebook or Instagram pages and Twitter, you'll see all of those Monday Punday posts. I think we've been going for about 15 or 16 weeks now. So there's a number of them built up over the time.
And we just search global cooling for that, do we?
So Global Cooling Charity. If you search that on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, you should find us.
Okay, can I ask... Oh, sorry, Louise, carry on.
That's okay. We were chatting off air beforehand, and Richard was telling me about a project that they're looking to do in schools.
Yeah, so we're looking at the start of the next school year to start to collaborate with some local schools, with a view that certainly in junior schools, so the progression for kids from infant through to the end of their junior school life can be a real transitionary period, but both physiologically, psychologically, and also there's a lot of transient nature of junior school. Teachers are changing every year. Pupils are often changing schools because there's often movement at that time. So it's a very inconsistent time for children when they need consistency. So we're trying to launch a scheme whereby pupils will plant a seedling when they start school in reception and take that through to the end of their school.
I just think that's such a wonderful idea.
That is clever.
Just because I've got a little boy who's 3.5, and I would love for him to do something like that. I just think it's a really nice focus.
And then with the benefit that after they leave junior school, Global Cooling will go and plant their tree for them in one of our projects, and they will always know where their tree, not their particular tree, but they'll know
which projects it's in.
Whereabouts their tree is planted, so they can revisit it throughout their teenage years, throughout their adulthood, and then when they have children, they can obviously talk about the scheme that they did when they were at
Great
school.
idea.
And then,
really nice.
it'll be a fully grown tree by that
So that's
stage.
from the September 2019?
We're hoping to work with a couple of schools locally to start that next year, and then obviously roll it out regionally and then nationally over the coming years.
Can I ask the standard question on Charity Tuesday? How do you generate the income for your charity? Is it through sponsorships or corporate sponsorships, or do you do events or things like that? How do you generate the income to pay for the trees and the work that you're doing?
So for us, it's important to make sure that the people who are donating to us really see where their money is going. So we have a 100% donation guarantee, and that guarantees any individual donor or fundraiser 100% of their donation will go towards planting trees. It will not go towards the running of our charity. That means, conversely to that, we have to be very lean in terms of our business model and keep our costs down. And then to run our charity, we rely on grants and funding and then corporate partnerships to kind of flesh that out a little bit, but also with the guarantee that our corporate partners are going to receive a high percentage of their donation will go also directly towards planting trees. So it's a range of things. We hold our own events. We rely on individual donors, corporate partners, etc. So we held an event recently, which was held at Revolution Bar in Solihull. It was a night of live music, and the local Santander branch we worked with them in collaboration, and they were pound matching what we raised for that event. So
Hats
that
off
was
to
really
Santander, they're brilliant. They're brilliant.
They're
at
good at
sports and
charity
charities as well.
champions, are they?
Yeah,
Really
absolutely.
Maybe we
fantastic.
should tag those as hashtag charity champions.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you're working towards a project. What is this project looking like? Where is it going to be? Have you found a site?
So it's our first forest project, and it is our first forest.
Yeah.
So we'll be planting our first trees. We're working towards that at the moment. That is our only project, so all of the funds raised will go towards that. We're hoping it's a UK-based project, in the hope that we'll plant at least 10,000 trees.
Mm-hmm.
So we need around 11 to 12 acres of land in order to do that. So it's quite a significant, parcel of land, quite a big commitment for our first project. But we're confident that as we go and as we're starting to build, the charity, and people are hearing about us, people are, kind of coming on board, and we think that's achievable for us.
Would it be possible if not that I have, but if I had 3 acres of land, could you take that 3 acres out of your 10 and 12 and just make a small forest or do you want that 12?
No, that's certainly something we can consider. So,
Yeah.
One of the things that is obviously hard to get hold of is the land. So anybody
Sure.
that has land that would be willing to have trees planted on it, then, we're certainly willing to collaborate with them and plant the trees and see how that might work as a partnership.
And permissions? Is it tricky for permissions and things, or is it a case
we're not
of
building houses here,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
planting trees. So,
Planting trees.
getting permission is usually quite easy.
Oh, good.
Because of the benefits of what you're doing, and obviously the impact that it's going to have. So, it's not usually an issue to plant trees.
Brilliant. And Collette, bringing you back into the discussion, would Richard's charity be something that we could put the tokens towards in Community Matters if he applied?
Possibly, if it was
If it-
local, you have to have a local bank account. So
yeah.
Yep.
even if it's a national charity, and it's an interesting one. I've never heard of it before, and I think it sounds wonderful. So it's something you might want to consider. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, as you say, you've not heard of us. We've been going less than a year, so
sure.
we're still building. We're still building our presence, and we are building that out of Solihull. So, there's a number of the team based around Solihull, and as I say, our marketing volunteer group are also based locally as well. So a lot of the meetings we have are based in Solihull.
So we've got Richard from Global Cooling. We've got Collette from Waitrose Charity. I keep saying charity, but it's Community Matters, which are the green tokens, and basically you're the liaison between the community and the store, aren't you? You're the go-between there. And of course, Louise from Get Ahead. Now, if you've been listening to Charity Tuesday, and thank you very much for doing that, if you would like your charity event, or your charity publicised via Solihull Radio and our podcasting featured content, why don't you get in touch and be part of a recording here? It's relatively painless, isn't it?
It was good fun.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's all right, and it'll be out there on the social medias for people to listen to. And like I say, if you've got a charity event, what a great way. We can add it to the What's on Solihull podcast, into the Solihull Observer and What's on Solihull Facebook page, and you can just generate a little bit more following for your events. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said to the guys when they came in, it is just a really nice informal chat, a way to talk about charities and really, like I said, champion what we all do, because at the end of the day, we're all doing good. I mean, whichever way we're doing it, we're all doing good for the community, good for, our fellow humans, if you like. We're just trying to support each other, and I think it's a wonderful way forward, and the more we can help each other, the better.
Right, and just to finish off, here. Just to finish off, Get Ahead wise, save the date.
Yeah,
There's some
save the date,
early early bird discounts on the ball this year.
Yeah, so the ball is on Saturday the 30th of November, and I'm sorry to drop the C word, but we're going Christmas.
Oh.
We're going Christmas for the ball this year.
In November.
Well, actually, you say in November, but at midnight, as the clock strikes
It
12,
becomes
we'll
December.
be stepping into Christmas.
Yeah.
That's play on words there. So the ball's called Step Into Christmas Ball. So generally, tables are £900.
Sorry, say that while I wasn't laughing.
Yeah,
A table
so-
of 10 is £900.
Generally, but if you book it early for the early bird special, book and pay for it before the 31st of July, and we'll give you £50 off. I mean,
There you go.
that's your drink sorted
That's
for the
it.
night, isn't
That's
it?
it. Where's the venue?
Hilton Metropole, NEC. So yeah, Saturday the 30th of November, Hilton Metropole NEC. We've got a brilliant lineup this year. We've changed it up a bit. We've got a live jazz. I say jazz. So yeah, so
big band.
Live orchestra, big band.
It's
yeah,
big band,
but,
isn't it?
Just to upset you a bit more, he's going to be learning all the Michael Bublé Christmas songs for us.
Course.
So that's wonderful.
Yeah,
So there'll be
nice.
lots of dancing through dinner. I'm yet to confirm the comedian. I'm waiting on an email, so I can't tell you that one just yet.
I'll email you back later, don't worry.
The gig's yours. Can you do it for free? Yeah,
No.
and then we've got a brilliant band at the end of the night called Coyote, who are fabulous. So yeah,
Brilliant.
please have a look at booking a table. It's a great Christmas night out, great night out for your friends, corporate, whatever you want to do. I can guarantee you've been to one before, Jeff. So
I know, I loved
don't
it.
like to blow our own trumpet,
No.
but we have been known as the best charity ball.
Best charity ball. Just a little plug from me as well, because this September I'm running the Wolf Run just down, just a little bit north of Leamington Spa. Now, Richard, you've done this quite recently, haven't you?
I have.
And
I had to endure it.
we've had a little chat briefly before we started recording, and I'm a little bit nervous, wavering now. But to raise some funds for the Get Ahead charity, I've said that I will run the Wolf Run with my Wolf Pack.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for some sponsorship. If anyone would like to sponsor the Solihull Radio team to run the Wolf Run for the Get Ahead charity, I'm very interested in talking with you. So why don't you get in touch?
Pop your link on the
Yeah, I'll put it on solihullradio.com. But if you want to get in touch with us, it's studio@solihullradio.com, and you can send us an email if you'd like to be involved in some of the marketing for that as well. That would be great. So thank you very much. Anything else that we'd like to add on #Charity Tuesday?
I'd just like to say, obviously, thank you for having Global Calling in.
No problem.
And for anybody listening, if you'd like to find out more about Global Calling, just follow us on any of the social media platforms. You can find us under Global Calling Charity on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc.
Brilliant.
And thanks again.
I'd just like to say, on behalf of Waitrose Community Matters, if anyone's got any charities that they want to nominate, just come and see us at Waitrose on Homer Road, and come to the welcome desk, or ask for a form, or even a chat. And thank you.
Back to you, Louise. Where do you see next #Charity Tuesday going? Any guests lined up so far?
Well, I believe June. So June is coming back from Colbridge Trust.
Well, she's not Colbridge Trust anymore. She's moved.
So we'll have the new June in June.
Yes.
Recording the Charity Tuesday.
And she'll be talking about all the support given to the local volunteers and charities that I think it's Caver. But we'll check that out.
Carver, I think that's what she drinks. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk to June about that.
We'll have to catch up.
And also, Age UK will be in talking about befriending and helping people that are suffering with loneliness.
I think that's a wonderful arm of their charity that they do. We spoke briefly with them last
Yeah.
time, didn't we? So,
Yeah.
yeah, fabulous.
I did speak to them to try and get them in on this Charity Tuesday, but they had no availability, so we've pushed them across to the next recording of Charity Tuesday.
That's fine, yeah.
So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you both for joining us here in the
Thanks for having
studio.
us.
Thank you.
You're listening to Solihull Radio.